The following contains spoilers. Just in case you didn't hear it earlier, yes, there are spoilers behind. On the first trailers that they show and teasers for Mass Effect 2, they imply that Shepard is dead. Well, technically this is true, as Shepard does die like in the first 5 minutes of the game and is resurrected by Cerberus. This is done to give you a in-story reason for why all your old team is gone and they're now in NPC roles, with the exception of two. As 2 years have passed, why there's a new Normandy, as the original one got kind of blowed up, and an in-game reason for a returning player being able to change their classes for their main character. The story this time is much darker, with colonies vanishing without a trace, and these are all human colonies. Ashley, or Caden, depending on who survived in your first game, ends up all in your face for having anything to do with Cerberus. Liara is all now like revenge hunter against the Shadow Broker, which her reasons are actually going to be explained in an upcoming 4-part comic series. And Rex, if he lived, is going to be coming back as a chieftain of his clan on the Krogan homeworld. Mass Effect 2 reminds you that the universe swears a lot, and though it's not really gratuitous swearing, there will still be a metric buttload of dams, shits, and forks. Joker, voiced by everybody's favorite Seth Green, actually gives you a "what the shit" at one point in the game. It's actually very funny whenever it happens for certain characters, like as the aforementioned Joker, but usually fits the situation and the natural feeling speech pattern for that said character. Alright, returning from the first game as playable characters, you've got Tali Zora Voznima, or Voz Normandy as she's going to be called later in the game. She's coming back as a straight tech fighter who gets a couple of cool abilities. And Garrus Vakarian, everybody's favorite Turian and former CSEC officer, is coming back. However, new to your team are Grunt, who is a Krogan super soldier prototype, a Mordin Solace, who is a brilliant Solarian scientist, who's actually really decent in a fight, Samara, who is a Asari Justicar, which is pretty much a warrior monk from hell with a license to kill, and they use it, who is highly skilled in biotics. You also have another Asari by the name of Morinth, who is an Ardak Yakshi. She has a rare mutation that causes her to drain the life force anybody she has that strange Asari sex with. You only get her, however, by betraying Samara, but that's explained in-game. I'm not going to go too much into that. Up next, you have Jacob Taylor, who is a former Alliance military soldier who is now part of Cerberus, and Miranda Lawson, who is genetically modified by her father to be perfect. She is a top Cerberus. She's the top Cerberus agent on the Normandy. Now you have Thane Krios, who is a Drell assassin who is dying from an unknown disease. He's that really cool looking lizard guy that they've been showing in the advertisements. And up last are Jack, aka Subject Zero, who is the product of Cerberus' early experiments into enhancing human bionic abilities. Jack's the bald character they've been showing, who wears pretty much no clothing save for boots, very minimal loincloth, this thong thing, and like this thin rope bikini top. And she's like super tattooed, and she pretty much doesn't go more than 2 sentences without swearing. Aaron and Legion, the oh-so-secretive Geth character, who's actually part of a faction of Geth who don't just think that all organic life needs to die. As I mentioned earlier in the scoring, gameplay is where most of your pain for this game is going to come in. If you never played Mass Effect 1, then you're just going to have a slight learning curve. But the rest of us who did have a major change of play to deal with. They did away completely with the old armor and weapon mod system for a better research their weapon type upgrade for instant across-the-board application. But now there are no weapon equipping beyond a locked-in, this is what this squad mate uses, which is mostly a combination of pistol and shoddy and snipe, or shotgun bow rifle. And yeah, they do give us these new super weapons like rocket launchers or the black hole cannon. But the problem is, with the new reload and system that they have, and yeah, it's completely asinine. Alright, so get ready for death by reload. They never give you any ammo for them, save for like the start of the mission. Alright, and if you have like a cutscene, then you'll maybe get some more, maybe. Then there's the new health system that they use, where everything's actually done through Unity instead of just omni-gelling and healing yourself as you go. It wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the fact that Metagel now is so rare to find. Alright, there's never any Metagel, and you have to heal like so often. Though people don't really die as often and take as much damage as they did in the first game. They also changed the whole hacking system in this game. It's no longer the match the buttons up as they flash. It's this new match the symbols game for doors. It's actually not that hard. It takes a quick second. However, hacking terminals for secret information and extra credits is a serious pain because they're completely random. Match these tiny, can't see the text on these god-awfully slow-crawling screens while your timer's going by really quickly. And most often than not, you'll miss it, which sucks because most of those terminals are, if you don't get them in the first try, you don't get a second. Something else they've been hyping up is their new cover system, which is kind of a double-edged sword. It's great in a fight, but if you're not very careful on how you move with it or your timing when you're hitting the buttons, you're gonna end up finding yourself bounding over your cover or just straight standing up in the middle of a crossfire, which makes you a big shiny target. Luckily, they did do away with using elevators as a loading screen in lieu of actual loading screens, which aren't too bad because for the most part they're not on the screen that long. Loading times are ridiculously quick in this one. This is only worth mentioning because of the big hoopla everybody's been having about it online. Yes, there is a lesbian romance of sorts for your female shepherd, but no gay male one. For straight characters, however, there are 3 male choices, with Garrus being one for the girls, and for a male character, Tali is actually one of your love interests. And that covers everything. As I stated earlier, though, this is still a must-buy for fans of the first game, and a really should buy for anyone who hasn't played the first Mass Effect. And as always, from me to you, giggity giggity, giggity goo.
You're listening to Kill Terry.